Alright, a lot of you guys have been requesting the Grade 1 Dark Irregular Rush deck, and I'm here to deliver it. There are a few disclaimers that I need to point out about this deck, though. This deck does change after the release of Set 11. Number 2, though I do not condone the actions of anyone playing Grade 1 Rush, I hate fucking playing against 7 Seas Rush. We all know and love it. Though it is interesting to try to find ways to exploit the game and honestly try to make new combos that work. Now, this deck's weakness overall is your opponent attacking and controlling your rear guards because you can't regenerate them efficiently, unlike the version of 7 Seas Rush where everything is essentially free and it comes back out of the drop zone. So before anyone complains and says, man, Robbie's supporting cancer, I just told you how to beat the deck. So surprise factors and things like that, I mean, sure, even if you're attacking the rear guards and controlling the boards, sometimes situations will get out of your control and you'll still lose. Now, as for where I got this recipe or deck list, I can't exactly remember. I know it was the one website that Jonathan Mindham always talked about. It's from like 2012. They had an entire list of Grade 1 decks. I believe I have a Royal Paladin one from there that we showcased a while back. Now, there was an entire list of interesting Grade 1 decks, and we copied this. Now, that's why we've never really done a deck profile on it until this point in time, is because we had one night of just testing Grade 1 mirrors. And granted, these things are very degenerate, but educating players and making them knowledgeable about these decks' existences, I think it's very crucial to stay educated. But this is the Amon Dark Irregular list. Deck's very cheap, but remember, it does change with 11. So if you want to go troll your locals a little bit, much like I've been trolling mine with Garmore, try it. So, like I said, guys, don't get angry that it's Grade 1 Rush. Just understand that for educational purposes, you're learning what this deck does, and you're trying to learn how to beat it, because that's part of this game. Is you need to adapt your strategies. Blech, fucking sucking all the deck over here. And you need to learn to adapt your strategies. You need to learn how to play against certain matchups. You know, one thing that this game doesn't have is generic Cray elementals for every deck to adapt, and it's very shameful to say that, but that's the time that this game has evolved to. So, 2 Mermaid Grace. Now, I don't know what all these things do. I've played the deck multiple times. I just know that you pay 1, counterblast 1, rest this thing. If you have a Vanguard with a mana in its card name, you countercharge, or soul charge 2, and then you get to choose 1 card with a mana in its card name. So you can target your Vanguard, which is actually really cool. And it gains the skill, continuous, and rearguard. That unit gets 1,000 for every card in your soul. So typically, you just turbo out your soul as quickly as you can. Only 2 starters. You don't have any other reason to max out on any more. You're limited to only so many counterblasts in this deck, so bear that in mind. So, crits. For Nightmare Dude, goes into the soul. It does what it needs to do, 3k to another unit, gives you more access to just loading up the soul for additional power from Mermaid. Now, this is where I said, you know, like, if you're really worried about this deck, this thing does require to target an Amon card with his ability. So, you know, if you're picking off those rear guards and your opponent's not topping, you know, Amon named cards, then you're going to be in a much better situation. So just remember that. There are a lot less Amon named cards in this version than there really could be. So, for Nightmare Land, it is 16 crits, of course. We gotta be as degenerate as we can. What's this thing from? This is from, yeah, BTO3. Gosh. There's that. The Amon named critical, Amon's follower, and then 4 of this dude. Yeah, this guy is a specific counterblast. It's 1 Amon. When this card's put into your soul due to an effect, high. If the number of cards in your soul is 6 or more, you may pay its cost if you choose one of your opponent's your opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards and retires it. It's pseudo control. Granted, like, depends how much counterblast management you've done. I really don't recommend using this effect unless your opponent's on a very thin board trying to conserve resources. If you can ping out an interceptor for one counterblast, it's definitely something worth considering while you're playing the deck. Alright, grade 1 time. So 4 of the 7 to 10k attacker, it's just auto regard if you have a Vanguard with a mon in its card name. So this thing will be able to hit for the numbers. Typically you can target this. It's really up to you if you want it to be your superficial target. I don't really recommend it, but you can. Typically this guy always is on my Vanguard circle, unfortunately. So there's that. Our super booster here, yeah, we boost Irregular Vanguard if the number of Irregulars in your soul is 6 or more. It's a 10k boost. So if you're doing this, and you drive check a critical, well, your opponent's gonna have a bad time. Typically, if this is behind the Vanguard and you're setting up your super columns, they're going to be a lot more hesitant to just no guard it, or your opponent's going to waste 3 cards to do it. Typically, when you're lined up, you know, typical board setup for all intents and purposes is literally just going to be, you know, high. You know, you always will swing with this column. You need to decide where you're going with this. One of the things you need to realize is this column is going to be tapped out because she's going to be tapped. You can either give it to the front row to make it an additional larger column, or you can allocate it here. If you're going like this, you can go 10, and then this column, and then this column. Typically, I'll do it this way because the bigger number will come in last, and this is at least the guarantee card. So keep that in mind when you're playing the deck. So your super booster, pretty standard here for what we're doing. 8Ks. 8Ks for days. I wish I could have these on my Vanguard circle, but we need them on named cards, so it's never happening. 8K boosters. Hi, I'm 18. You know, these help accelerate over thresholds. You can stack 2 of these together to make a 16k column. It's no fucking skin off your ass. These are just here to assure that you are getting past the number foundation that the deck needs to officially win the game. But yeah, you can mix and match these however you want, but for the current build, 6 of them are essentially mandatory. Yay, degeneracy. Next up, this build is playing 4 of these just at the beginning. It's the beginning of your main phase, right? Yeah, the beginning of your main phase, Soul Charge 1. Now, I don't like this card. I think this card's but it accelerates your game plan with the advantage that you're getting over here from the maids. It kind of sucks you can't just play these in your main phase at Soul Charge. They have to get through to the next turn, but typically they'll stick around for a little while. It's one of the cool things about this deck. This in an 8k makes a 15k column. Typically, you can throw this wherever you want. I don't recommend throwing it behind your Vanguard. You can if you don't have your supercharged booster bitch. But yeah, 4 of them because there's not really better soul management. The best goddamn card in this deck. 4 of these. Yeah. Once placed on rear guard, if you have a Vanguard with a mon in its card name, Soul Charge 2. It's free, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be playing these for just your maximum results. Like I said earlier, as we were talking about, you know, that critical trigger, just higher chances to ensure that we're hitting them as they're going into the soul. I don't want to have to sit here and not worry about building soul. She does it all for you, and she's 7k. Literally one of the best cards that this degenerate piece of crap has going for it, honestly. Next up, this is where it's gonna... You guys all should know and love this stew of a card, Doreen the Thruster. It's every time you soul charge during your main phase. Oh yeah, it's when a card's put in the soul. If you have a Vanguard with Dark Irregular, this thing gains 3k. These things as boosters start to get really ridiculous the later the game goes. Now, she doesn't have the ability Amon, or she's not named Amon, that's fine, but she supercharges your columns, builds you numbers, She does what she needs to do. She's very important. Never ride her. Never. You need those Amon-named cards, guys. I can't stress that enough. 4 of it. Poet of Darkness Amon. And it's just continuous Vanguard, Rearguard. Keep in mind, that's continuous. So this shouldn't have a bitch procs during your opponent's turn. If you have this thing goes to 9k base if you have 6 more cards in your soul. Nothing else to really say about it. This card's but once it triggers its continuous ability, you can get some pretty nice shit going. I would still rather have my 7k on my Vanguard though, because it's only during my turn that we get to be 9k. So, and then the last 4 cards, 4 of the Quintet Wall. You have Counterblast. This was the card where I was saying, like, I don't know if I'd want to efficiently be using my Counterblast over here for the critical trigger, but you need these for the defense. These also deck thin 5. So yes, it is 5 resources gone, but it gets you quicker into the stack. If in some way you don't mill critical triggers, well, you're further into your stack to make your life easier. But yeah, Quintet Walls for the defense, honestly, they help a lot more than I think people will honestly give them credit for. And then, yeah, that's all it really is to the deck. So if you want to beat it, just focus on your rear columns. If not, your opponent's going to overwhelm you, and you're going to have a very bad time. So guys, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about this degenerate trash. And, well guys, hope you have some fun playing something that's not 7 Seas Rush. Deuces, my audience. That's not all, card fighters. Please subscribe for more Cardfight Vanguard content. Please remember to check out MCole40 for Yu-Gi-Oh videos, and please check out MColeGames.com, my store, along with No Limit Gaming, NLGTCG.com for all of your guys' trading card game needs as well. Until next time, guys, remember to hit that subscribe button. Later.